how you get even. How you get that love. Yo, this is Yinka, singer and guitarist with the band Sabatta, and I'm back with season 2 of Records That Made the Record, where I describe and share with you records, albums, bodies of work that inspired and influenced the making of the new Sabatta record, How to Get Even, which is out now on all digital streaming platforms. So, now I've dealt with that, let's get into it. This season, by the way, I'm going to be talking about music that's slightly more diverse than the first season, because although rock, and to the degree metal, which we're probably going to get into this season a little bit more, but rock is kind of like primary foundation of what I do and what made the record. There's plenty of other influences. So I want to discuss them because I want to be open and real and honest about what inspires me to make music. But, you know, of course I've got to keep it rock, so I'm coming in hot with this one. This is ACDC, Let There Be Rock. Of course, now, let's just say this out of the gate. In my opinion, ACDC are probably the most popular, unpopular band, the most cool, uncool band that there has ever been. Because, you know, the cool people say, and have always said, it's not cool to like ACDC really. Like, when they emerged, I think they were dismissed as pub rock, and then they've been dismissed as dad rock. You know, now they're probably granddad rock. Nevertheless, they have something and they hold the key to something that's, I would say, elemental. So you can say primal and all this stuff, but you don't want to get too intellectual about a band like ACDC, because that's not what they're about. They're about roughness, rawness, grit. I mean, let's talk about some of the titles. The titles of the tracks on this album. Kicks off with a tune called Go Down. Yeah, that's about what you think it's about. Bad Boy Boogie, Overdose, Crapsody in Blue, which is about STDs or SIDs or VD, whatever you want to call it. Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, Toxic Relationships, Whole Lot of Rosie, BBWs. And this is the kind of thing that they were singing about. Now, in terms of what you could do now, it probably wouldn't pass muster. All of this is extremely non-PC, but that's what makes it even better, because it's raw, it's visceral. Again, it's difficult to talk in certain terms when discussing the music of ACDC, because it is just uncouth and raw. It's that uncouth, totally out of control uncle at the family gathering who makes a complete mess and embarrasses everybody. But you love them because that's why they're there. They make things memorable. You don't forget those situations. And what I would say is influential to me most about this record, especially the making of the new Sabatta album, is just the rawness. It's like when you put this album on, whether you have the vinyl like myself or you listen on Spotify or wherever, you're going to hear tape hiss at the beginning of the tracks. You're going to hear the amps buzzing at the beginning of the tracks. And I think that there's a certain amount of deliberate, there's something deliberate about that. Because, it's not just the technology. They could have done stuff to clean it up at the time, but they chose not to, because that's just part of the essence of what they do and what they are. That's what rock and roll is. It's not meant to be super corporate. It's not meant to be establishment and acceptable. It's meant to be unacceptable. It's meant to be the person you can't bring home to your mother. That's the whole point of rock and roll, and I think that some of that has been lost. In terms of the making of the new Sabatta album, well, I went in there, laid down guitars and drums at the same time. It was just raw. I literally played, I think, for about 7 hours straight. And yeah, that's another story. But the point is that it's just in your face and no holds barred, and warts and all is probably the term that I'm reaching for. So hopefully that comes across, the energy that you get and you give when you create music like that. Hopefully that comes across when you listen to the album, and it definitely comes across in albums like Let There Be Rock. So make sure you check that out. Check out any ACDC stuff you want to check out, and make sure you check out the new Sabatta album. Until the next one, rock on.